exactly. So, anyways, in this podcast today, we're going to be talking about obviously like next gen properties and stuff like that, and then also the investment side of things. I guess the biggest thing is like, what are you investing in right now? What's your main thing?
Main thing right now is real estate.
Yeah,
it'll always be real estate,
and
that's kind of our primary, and kind of the bulk of everything that happens here.
Yeah. Well, it's because you got that expertise and you've already seen it kind of play out before.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you getting like a lot of investments from older generations?
Right now, yeah.
Why? Like, I guess I was thinking about this like all weekend. Why do you think that like my age of people are so scared to invest money, especially into real estate?
Lack of education.
Yeah,
that's why.
That would make sense. Like,
because even now, like when we sit down, we talk about it all the time, education and the corporate systems. But education itself, when was it really? Unless you took a specific finance course, or went and got a degree in finance, when is it that you really,
grade 2 when you learned how to count toonies?
I think that's about it. Close enough, right?
Yeah, no doubt. So, how are you sending that message out right now? Because obviously, I mean, I look at it this way: like the millennial generation right now, we're so terrified of investing our money because we keep getting told realistically by our parents that it's bad investment. But you're the first person to talk to with that because you've seen what investing the money actually does.
Yes. And the thing about that is, even with parents, like parents can only go so far because all they can really teach their next generation is what they've done and what they know. And most of the time, majority of the time, that's where you'll see that, especially the elder generation that isn't so, you could say, money rich.
Yeah.
Passing those lessons down to the next generation is not really enhancing or helping the situation.
Yeah.
So that's where the whole concept of education, providing the right education, hosting some of the seminars that we do and stuff like that, to really kind of get people in that frame of mind. I was talking to one of my finance guys, and he was bringing up stock market again, and it's just the same thing. Stock market is like, you have all these millennials that are so tech savvy that can reprogram all of our computers here within seconds.
Yeah.
But aren't focusing on something like the stock market because it is online based.
Which is exactly a good point, because I mean, at this point, with how IT savvy everybody is, you can literally have an algorithm of what you're looking for in stocks, create a program with it, and you wouldn't do anything.
Exactly.
You just sink $2,000 into it, and it would auto generate whenever something climbs or falls.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I was laughing actually bringing this up, talking about investment, and I think that's another thing that a lot of people need to realize is investment isn't just something that you're like, okay, I'm going to buy a house. Investing in yourself is a huge thing.
Oh, yes.
Like, I'll never forget the look my dad had when I told him that I was going back to college. And he's like, well, that's a terrible idea. I said, well, no, I'm investing in myself. So, well, are you though? Looking back at it now, I'm like, shit, I probably should have went into something that made a little bit more money, but it still was an investment. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
What would you say to somebody who's thinking about going back to school? Because I think that's a really hot button issue that me and you have personally talked about multiple times.
As the topic of school is always so interesting with me because I have such a love-hate relationship with school.
Yeah.
If you're going to school for something and you know what you're doing, or you need it for a specific position, I think school can be very strategic. But just the day and age that we live in with these computers and the internet and everything, so much available knowledge right at our fingertips.
You literally open up YouTube.
Exactly. and even like paid courses and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff can be done just right off your computer anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
As long as you have an internet connection and a laptop.
Yeah.
So going back to the lifestyle that we kind of promoted back in the day, the laptop lifestyle, talking about stocks, talking about online businesses, that kind of stuff. I think it's really important for people that are wanting to go back to school to, again, really focus on what it is. Don't just go there and try to figure it out and spend the money and get yourself in debt and do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Actually know what you're doing. And the other thing is, like, seek mentors, seek coaches.
Yeah.
Find people that can help you kind of tweak out what you're actually interested and passionate about to kind of help direct you versus trying to just do it yourself.
Well, and I think I was thinking about this last night too. I think a huge thing is, like we said, our parents. It's a pressure from our parents.
Mm-hmm.
You turn 18, you finish high school, go spend $60,000 on an education. But then you end up with a lot of people like myself, even though I took that 5 years and went back to school, not realizing it's probably important that I reevaluate what my income's going to be and what the debt load I'm buckling on. Like, I took out $33,000 in debt. I was making $31,000 a year. So if that wasn't scalable, like, how long that would take off to be, it's crippling.
I have a good friend, he did his economics degree here, and he's actually originally from England. So he went back to England for his law degree, and it cost him about $200,000 to move there for 2 years, get his full degree, come back, and now he's doing his equivalency exams. He's a student lawyer now in Calgary. And when I was talking to him about it, he's just super against debt. Like, that's just his thing. Right? And I told him, you need leverage if you want to expand, but he doesn't care. He's like, I'd rather have everything paid off. And the reason is, he looked at me and he's like, if I had to put myself in debt $200,000 in debt to go become a lawyer,
Yeah.
he's like, I wouldn't have done it. He's
Yeah.
like, because I had the accessibility from, family and myself, and I had the $200K to go put in there, it's like, that's the only reason I went and did it.
Yeah.
Because I can't.
Well, and that's talking about that and right there in itself is investment. I think investing in your education to take on a huge amount of debt is a terrible investment. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't take out $30,000 from the bank, throw it into a stock just because you got a good feeling. And then the other thing is they say that our generation is supposed to be switching careers like 8 to 10 times in your lifetime.
Yeah.
Now that's not necessarily the same with entrepreneurship because we probably switch it about 20 times because you're trying to get in with everything.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think it's time for not only my generation, your generation, but generations as a whole to really start to reevaluate traditional education.
And it's fear and greed.
Yeah.
Those are the two things, two psychological emotions that'll always break you. So when you're fearful, think about it. You're more confused than anything. And when you're in a state of being greedy, this is again ties a little more into the stock market. When you're making it, and you think you're making it too much, then you keep going and you break everything.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It all comes back to the knowledge and kind of keeping consistency with that, and thinking how investing is not just you're investing in yourself, but you're also investing in the concept of growing